recording. Right. What happened is that on Easter Saturday, I decided it was a lovely morning, so I just went outside my house and from the end of the street across Chorlton Green and along Beech Road, and this is the result. There's me setting off next to our cherry tree was in blossom at the time, and this was the first place. It's just on the corner of the road where I live, and it's Chorlton Evangelical Church, and it's been there for as long as I know. It looks like it's a converted prefab or something. I don't know.
It was built as a church. It was built as a.
Oh, thank you, Graham. I didn't know that. Thank you for that.
In the 50s.
Well, it's certainly been there. I've been here 40 years, and I've never known its origin like that. But it's always been there. They're really nice and friendly people, and they look after the place really well. And as you can see, it's spruce, isn't it?
Yeah. You've got my brother's house in it as well.
Oh, that's right. Yes, in the corner. He's done that up really well. I think it looks excellent. This is just a short video I took of it. There you can see. And that's the bowling green pub there.
Good parking there.
Yeah, it's a big car park.
A very big car park. It's an Irish pub. Therefore, it means it's a United pub, Manchester United pub, and that there had just been a game that morning. I think I just came out after the game, and it's always packed for that. And there it is, lots of bikes, lots of people outside it, a bowling green at the back, and that's how it used to look. But I think this is the one that was knocked down. It looks a bit shaky, doesn't it? When you see it.
The roof looks a bit bad.
The roof looks a bit, yeah, it does. Yeah.
And there's the famous Lich Gate.
Yes.
Which was the front part of the Victorian church that used to be there, which I'll come on to in a second. And this is probably the most Chorlton iconic view, really, which is the Lich Gate. It's often used, and it's the centre of Old Chorlton. There's an Old Chorlton around Chorlton Green, which I suppose I'm a part of, and then there's a new Chorlton about a mile down the road nearer the railway station as was then. And the four banks, as it used to be known, but it's now only one bank because three of the banks on each corner have gone. But anyway, this is the old Chorlton we're looking at. So this is just at the end of the road. The church is the evangelical church is just on your left.
So are the bodies under those stones?
No, they'd all been taken away, I think. Andrew Simpson, who you'll come across in a minute or two, is doing a talk a week next Wednesday on specifically this yard, which he's getting a friends of the graveyard, and he's going to sort it all out to make sure that, because the stones themselves have got very interesting encryptions. They've done a review of all of them and found the number of very young children that were buried there and things like that. So they want to do something with that. So he's giving a talk on the history of it, a face-to-face talk, a week on Wednesday. This is the old churchyard before there was a Lich Gate. You see, the Lich Gate hasn't been there since ancient times. Like a lot of traditions, it's a fairly modern invention. And there you can see the old St. Clement's. So there's the Lich Gate, and there you can see it's like a coloured photograph, I think, a tinted photograph. And there you can see it looking. It does look good. I don't know what the image. That could, to the left of the church, could be the Bowling Green pub, couldn't it? Looks a bit like it. Could be. And there, I think, is a rather good photograph of the Lich Gate with the church in the background. It's a great photo, that, isn't it? Really like it. This is an older picture of the pub. Don't know whether there's that young child in the. And there was a little shop next to it. It's expanded since then. And this is Chorlton Green. I thought this was a very typical Chorlton event. It was in December 23rd, 2019. This is the story from the Manchester Evening News. White witches welcomed winter to Beech Road in Chorlton with a traditional community blessing at sunset on the shortest day of the year. Well, again, another tradition that must have been at least 2 years old by then. Wiccan, Tracy Robbins, and fellow White Witch, Dr. June Williams, drew upon the natural energies of the universe, thank you very much for that, to cast a spell on Chorlton Green designed to promote community togetherness, inclusiveness, and warmth. The blessing was the culmination of a free-to-attend, nice to know, community event on Beech Road in Chorlton. The witches invited the community, cast out the old, welcome the new as part of the ceremony by writing their worries onto bay leaves that will be tucked into a traditional Yule log set alight at sunset.
Can I just say something there? That Chorlton Green was tarmacked until the 1970s. There was no grass at all on it, so it was totally tarmacked until the mid 1970s. So
yes, and that was done to release all the spirits that had been trapped by the tarmac.
Right.
I hope you were fully aware of that. And,
Thank you very much.
I hope you're not mocking these. They can have some effect, you know, so just watch out. Anyway, at the other end of there's Chorlton Green there is on the left. You can just about see it, and the bowling green is round the corner. And this used to be the Beech Road chippy, and then it became something for flowers. And during lockdown, they now do fruit and veg, which we'd been short of on Beech Road since the old one had closed down. And there on the right is the Horse and Jockeys brewery, which is the Bootleg Brewing Company. That's an old brewing. I don't know what you call these things. Anybody got the name for them? Anyway, they refurbished it, and it's now selling locally made beer there.
You know, I've never noticed that before, ever.
Oh, there you go.
Is it called a hop house?
It could be, couldn't it? Though I thought those were in Kent, and that's where they stored. Anyway, it's very nice, and it's really good that they've done it. It's very impressive, really. This was an old picture of the area beforehand, and that was a smithy there, where you can see a very blurred photo from goodness knows when. But what I never realized until I just looked up at it recently is opposite there used to be something called the Grange Laundry, which was up at the smithy, and this taken around about 19. It was huge, isn't it? I mean, there are quite a lot of those around. And here's the picture taken in the 1950s of the same place, and there it was, the Chorlton chippy. There's something quite nice about its unclutteredness. And just round the corner here was one of the 3 butchers on Beech Road. And I can always remember it from the 2 old people who were running it. They sold fantastic meat, but every time they went to chop something, they'd go, "Oh, would you like a nice piece of steak?" Yes. And then they go over to there and they go, "Chop." I need to think something being very unfair about them, but I always remember that. And sometimes if I'm standing by the counter in the kitchen, I'll pretend I'm them doing that. But anyway, that's part of my idiocy. Anyway, look at that. There's no tarmac there, is there? I can't see.
No.
Are those beech trees? They look like beech trees. Are they still there?
Yeah, all the trees are still there. This is also on Chorlton Green, and it's the old primary school that's now been done into flats, but I think quite well done. It looks quite nice, I think.
It does. Does look nice.
The houses, aren't they? Individual houses, aren't they? 3 houses.
I think they are.
What's the difference between a house and a flat?
Yeah.
They're 750 grand each as well.
Wow.
Yeah, they are very nice inside. I've been inside one.
Chorlton's gone up in value.
Well, yeah, you know, our kids and their friends, they've had a lot of them have had to move out of Chorlton because they just can't afford it, and they go to places like Bernage or Longsight or Levenson.
New Chorlton. Yeah.
Now this is something. This is Andy Simpson who's giving the talk in a couple of weeks, and he did a 2010 talk about Beech Road. What are we doing here tonight on a slightly drizzly Chorlton evening?
We're having a talk and a walk down Beech Road as it would have been in 1848, and all the people that you would have had to be polite to.
And these are the people who are being polite to each other whilst we wait. Notice the occasional umbrella. Right,
but I've chosen this spot for a number of reasons, not least of which was that if we'd been here in 1848, in whichever direction you would have looked, you would have had a clear view across field upon field. The bowling green is there from certainly the 1780s, and that building stays there until 1908 when it's demolished.
And this is a very welcome addition to Beech Road, I think, is the co-op. Just having a shop that's open till late and has got a reasonable variety of food and everything is really, really useful. You can just go around to it. And this is
I haven't noticed that.
Have you not noticed it? Well, have a look at it. Have a look at this.
Oh, yes.
What's happening here, you might ask?
Oh, the opening.
There I am with my cardboard scissors.
Well done.
About to cut the ribbon of the Beech Road Co-op.
No.
I won't tell you how that came
rate.
about. I'll leave that as a mystery. Now this is another just on the corner opposite the the co-op, which is called Bisou, which means, Jackie?
Kisses.
Kiss, kiss.
Kiss,
Kiss,
kiss.
kiss. That's exactly it. And it's been opened by the people, the French guy who owns the delicatessen further down the road, and it's really, really popular. I went there to meet an old friend on Monday morning, and I was the only man in it. It was all the well, I think mothers from the local school who'd gone there after dropping off their kids. But they were quite pleasant to me, so I stayed. And we had a nice coffee there, so it's definitely worth
Sounds
going.
like Motherland. Have you ever watched
Yes.
Motherland?
Yeah.
It was just like that. Babies being fed, lots of stuff being passed around, and it was a very nice atmosphere. I think I thought it was really nice.
Incidentally, that used to be the co-op.
Very long time ago, indeed. It did, and this used to be the health food shop, which was great, and then it became a pet food shop. And I want to know, why is it all pet shops have funny names? You know what I mean? Like there's another one called Betty and Butch further up the road, and this one's Growler and Prowler, which means presumably dogs and cats. I think I've got that right, haven't I? And just have a look at the close-up. Look at all the things that they sell for pets.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal, isn't it? But again, that's not surprising in Chorlton. There seem to be a lot of pedigree dogs going around. You know, those really nice ones that are a mix of poodle and something else.
Yes, they're very funny.
I was going to say that they'll all be cockapoos.
Cockapoos, that's what they are.
Cockapoos,
They're
yes.
lovely. They're lovely dogs, actually, aren't they? They're really nice. I do like them. This is a bit further up the road, and it's typical of the rather strange places that have opened up. There's one place called Object, and I've never found out what they sell. They kind of it says shop, staycation, social, and you look in the window, there's hardly anything in it. I always begin to think there must be a front for something else.
Perhaps it's just advice.
Yeah. Well, there you go. And next to it is the Chinese clinic, which is people come from a long way away for its acupuncture and other stuff that it does, a Chinese herbal medicine. This is walking down towards the end of the shops, and these are where there's a gallery and studio. This on the corner, and this was, I think, it is a Chinese takeaway, and it's heading towards the park. And this is one of the oldest shops there. It's a real old hippie shop, which has been there. It used to be a junk shop or antique shop, somewhere in between before then. But it's been the same person running it for nearly for about 30 years, I think. And I've almost never go in except maybe for a birthday card or something like that. But I just like the fact that it's there. Well, on the opposite side of the road is the McQueen Independent Shop. And again, I've never seen anybody going in it. Its window display is it's not very impressive, is it? But apparently they're all individual items and sold for several £100s. Though I do like the next one along, which is the Curious Fox, which used to be the Beech Road Cafe, which is where I used to go and meet my friends. I really liked it, but they got fed up with doing that and turned it into a sort of strange place, strangely Victorian place. But this is the Épicerie Ludo, which again is a bit expensive, and it has more staff than I've ever noticed in a small place like that. There are at least 3 of them there at any one time. And you can get, of course, your compulsory sourdough and various other things. And these are the sort of things that are going on there. A wine festival, very nice. Takeaway filter coffee, that's not too bad, is it? £1.50. Spanish after school club. They're hiring yet more staff. Extraordinary. And there's an arts and crafts weekend as well. So it's fairly typical things going on there. And this, of course, is a tapas bar, supposedly one of the best around. It's always full. And apparently, Pep Guardiola has been known to go there. But I think it's really good. It's very small. It goes a long way back, and they have tried to extend it a bit. And this is on the corner. I didn't take a photo of it. It's Etchells now, the tobacconists, and it's hardly changed. Apparently, at one time, it was famed for having more Guardians delivered from it than anywhere else in the country. And this is the lead station, which used to be a police station many, many years ago, and was various things during the war, sort of administrative building, and has now become a restaurant. And it's one probably I don't go out a lot, but with friends we often go to the lead station because it's pretty good value, and you can rely on it, and it's a nice place. And
Yes,
I've been to the lead
I've been there
station years
quite
and
a bit.
years ago.
Are you like it? Yeah.
Mm.
Now this
Yes.
is a picture I took last summer, during the summer, and it was really, really hot. And this is the back part of it out in what used to be the garden. And you can see they've got a tree growing through the roof,
Yeah.
which I think is fantastic. And it looked absolutely brilliant. Here's a close-up of it. You got this shimmering trees with all the different colors, and they'd open the windows, open the roof windows so that you could see them shimmering, and it looked fantastic. And I found out that it had I put it up on Google Maps, and it's had 6,840 views. This is what used to be a Methodist chapel. Then it became Coop's Furniture Storehouse. Then it became an Indian restaurant, and its latest one is Casa de Mor, which presumably
I've been there.
is it any good? A Spanish one?
I don't know. I'm not sure, but it's easy to get served.
Yeah. That's why the other one, probably the one you went to, it went bust. But here's what it looked like before, when it was a Methodist church.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Yep. Coming back to the Curious Fox, gifts and interiors. Now it was featured on that art program by Grayson, what's his name? Perry? No, Perry Mason.
Mr. Perry.
Now, don't they look fabulous?
Gosh.
These are in fact characters from Coronation Street, which are about 6 inches high, that are handmade and were featured on Grayson Perry, apparently. But I think they look fabulous, don't you? I think they look
I do,
great.
yeah.
Now this is a laundrette. This is a laundrette restaurant. Guess what it used to be? Yes,
Yeah.
you got it. There it is on the corner, a laundrette, and which I used to use. And like many of them, of course, it went bust. And it's opposite Beech Road Park.
Mm.
Now, just opposite there is a what do they call them? Assisted housing scheme.
Yeah.
Which Helen lived in for a while, but she decided she didn't like it and moved out. But I thought if I'm ever in a position where I need to move into somewhere, I'd like that because it's right bang on Beech Road in the quiet part, overlooks the park, and it's really good value. But this is what it looks like, and it's used for loads of things. This one was for the Chorlton Peace Festival in 1984. So it's used for lots of things like this. And this was the Beech Road Festival in 2011, where it's estimated something like 10,000 people turned up or something ridiculous like that. And ever since then, it's got to the point where it couldn't cope. The everywhere was absolutely clogged up, and it left this rather mess after it.
Mm.
And as the story in the evening news said, rethink a Beech Road Festival after drunken yobs fight in Chorlton Park. Organisers of the Beech Road Festival admit crowd control measures were inadequate after an unexpected crowd of 10,000 revellers turned up on Sunday and the community event descended into violence. So rather than leave it on this rather depressing one, I'll move on to this one. This is it was Peace Women on Chorlton Green in September, part of a week of protest against cruise missiles. I was heavily involved in at the time of something called CHAM, Chorlton Against the Missiles, which and we succeeded. There's not been a single missile in Chorlton since then.
Very
it.
good.
Thank you.
Ah, well done, Ben.
Anyway, that's where I live near.
Thank you.